Hey guys, happy Friday. This is a surprise. I know I didn't have it on the schedule. I don't think. Maybe I did. We're going to do the Mortgage Minute. So let us know you can hear us or see us. That's always so important. Give us a thumbs up. I know some of you will tune in. I don't know if you know the history of this, Rachel, but I did an entire show where nobody could hear us.
Oh,
So the attorney came on, Justin Clark. Eliud, what's up, buddy? Justin Clark came on, and Tom, what's up, buddy? Happy Friday. Joe Tags is on. So we're doing a Mortgage Minute, Joe. Are you happy? Kim Meredith is on. Meredith Hampton, Rhonda Owen. All right, so good. So I got a thumbs up. They can hear us. This is Rachel Ruffing. She is with Mainframe Realty here in Orlando. And so we had a meeting today to talk about her amazing year for 2019 as the incoming president-elect, the president for 2019 for Women's Council of Realtors. And so we're super excited to support her and be there for her because she's going to have a great year. I just saw the plans. I mean, it's going to be an amazing year. Hey, Tracy. So welcome.
thanks.
So this was spur of the moment for her. So she's
Yes,
like,
hi.
do I look okay? Is my lipstick all right? I'm like, is my lipstick all right? I mean, I don't know.
I'm doing it. I'm ready.
So she is gracious enough to come on the show. And on the Mortgage Minute, we don't like it to be a huge, big, giant show, but people have questions, realtors especially, buyers, sellers, they have questions. And so I love when I'm meeting with a realtor, if they're willing to come on the show and talk a teeny tiny bit about some questions or problems that they have or issues, something that goes on in the transaction that they've always wanted answered. We're gonna hope, Joe Tags, right, that I have the answers for this. You know I do. But welcome.
Thank you
So
much.
give us a little, people like a little history. It doesn't have to be just a minute. I say Mortgage Minute, but give us a little history on you. You're a realtor with Mainframe. You have,
Correct.
Tell us about you.
So I started in real estate a really long time ago, and I kind of worked my way from the bottom between all the clerical work and receptionist, and kind of build my way up to becoming a full-time realtor in 2016. So my business has been phenomenal. It really has taken off last year and this year, so I'm super excited to be here and help out any way I can.
All right. So, and as the president-elect, she's coming in 2019 Women's Council of Realtors Orlando chapter.
Network.
Right, no, network.
Yep,
God,
yeah,
we
network.
changed that word. It's not chapter anymore, guys. I'm super excited for next year. And of course, Freedom is going to support Rachel 100%. We are
Thank you.
very, very excited to be part of your team for 2019. So our question was, we were going back and forth, like it's coming up to the weekend. So a lot of times I get questions about either open houses or I get questions about pre-approvals. We've talked about pre-approvals a lot. Listen, if you're going into the weekend as a realtor and your buyers don't have one, please call somebody. Call me, but call someone. Don't shop around if they only have the piece of paper from some internet company. That's my personal advice to you because you're just doing a disservice
Yes,
to
I agree.
yourself. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your buyer's time. If they've only checked their credit on Credit Karma, it's probably a good idea to get with a real professional. And I know you don't believe this, but I am a real professional. So you can reach out to me all weekend long. I've got an entire team who supports me behind the scenes, and we're available 24/7 during the weekend, Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays. And we also love open houses, so we'll talk about that soon. But our question, when we came up with it, was about closing costs.
Yes.
So ask your question, which I thought was a really, really good question.
Yeah, so I service a lot of buyers, and one of the main questions that they have is, what is the difference between a down payment and your closing costs? Because they're two separate items, and a lot of the time they get commingled, and they don't understand the difference and the cost that they are associated with.
It's so true. So we won't get into the boring nitty-gritty with you, but here's the deal. So let's say you go with a basic down payment of 3.5%. A lot of the buyers believe that they only have to have 3.5% of the purchase price of the house, and that's all they need. That's it. You're going to put on a $100,000 house, it's $3,500. That's all. You are so wrong. And a lot of realtors actually are surprised when the closing costs come back in, when the cash to close is what it's called.
Yeah.
The cash to close comes in, and it's higher. Here's the deal. So as your buyers come in, if you're a buyer or a borrower and you're looking at, you've saved your money up, you've got a gift from somebody, wherever your down payment comes from, you have to have more than your down payment. You have to have closing costs. And what does that mean? So there's some things that are included in that. As the buyer, you have to pay prorated insurance for the year. They want to make sure taxes, HOA. What happens is they want to make sure that you have the money that they've paid in advance, so that there's no way you're going to be in trouble, at least for the first year, of paying your taxes, paying your homeowner's insurance, because the mortgage company is they're protecting you, right? But in general, they're protecting themselves, they're protecting their loan. They're making sure that the taxes don't get called in, that your insurance doesn't lapse during hurricane season, which is so important in Florida. They want to make sure you're paid at least a year in advance to protect you and to protect them. So you might have the $3,500 down, but that's not all the costs to you. There are other costs that you have to take into consideration. So you have to make sure that when you're working with your realtor, which is the primary person you need to work with, and that realtor is working with the lender with you, that you ask those questions and you really go through it. Because sometimes it's super tight, which we were talking about earlier.
And here's an idea too. So if your down payment is 3.5%, you should also consider that your closing costs are going to be 3.5%.
I like it. So there's no bad thing about you having more money than you need to close. Wouldn't that be a lovely surprise if you had plenty of money to close? The problem happens when you're getting in there and you got the 3.5% and your lender hasn't done their homework, and all of a sudden it's time to get the cash to close, and you go, I don't have $7,000. I only have $3,500. What are we going to do? So there's a responsibility on both of you, I believe. The realtor needs to take the responsibility and make sure, as your advocate,
I have a solution too.
Tell us a solution.
Solution is, as a buyer, you can request some of those closing costs be recouped from the seller.
That's correct. So you want to work with a buyer's agent that will help you negotiate that with the seller's agent. You want to have somebody, you go in and you go, okay, I've got 5,000 of the 7,500. Can you get me an additional 2,500 in seller contributions? There's all this stuff that you can do. The seller can contribute to your funding, so to your cash to close. But you have to ask for it. A lot of times they don't ask for it. Hey, Rusty, what's up, buddy? I hope we're meeting next week, by the way. We've been talking about that with Michelle. But I want you guys to make sure that you're working with somebody who is your advocate, who can negotiate that stuff on your behalf, because the last thing you want is to get down to the wire and there's no way for you to get gift money, there's no more money in your checking account, your savings account, and there's absolutely no way for you to close because nobody's done their homework.
Yeah, and you've just lost your dream home now.
You've lost your dream home. So work with a real estate professional that will do that for you, that will be your advocate, that will make sure that you're educated, and that will work with lenders who are also educated. Because a lot of times, I'm not going to badmouth anyone, but here's the deal. When you go out to the companies online, when it's a web-based, and you've gotten this amazing pre-approval at 2%, I mean, come on, you got to do your homework. And if your realtor is allowing that to go forth, I would encourage you to find somebody who's going to really take a look at what you're actually doing and how much money you really have to have.
Here's another small little tidbit.
Please.
Is that generally realtors who are working all the time, not as like a part-time job, it's like a full-time job, they have relationships with these lenders, and they can help discuss better avenues versus if it was something from Rocket Mortgage or something like that.
You said it, I didn't.
There's no relationship there, so it's kind of like a long distance thing, and it's better to do this intimate relationship with a lender who's here local. You have more pull and open communication. So
yeah, the communication's so critical too. You want to make sure that your realtor has a super good relationship with their lender partners, and there might be multiple lender partners. We know that, but we want to make sure that you're taken care of, and they need to be your advocate. They're your number one advocate. Yes, I want to get you the loan, but they're your go-to person. So if your go-to person is just fluffing it off and saying, oh yes, your thing from XYZ Mortgage Online is amazing, Joe Tags, that's for you, it's amazing, then you probably need to question your realtor and their knowledge, because then you're going to get stuck at the tail end of it. And that is a bad, bad place to be. So do your homework, build a relationship with your realtor, and make sure that your realtor has a relationship with lenders or a lender that I believe should be at least local, knows the community, they can have a relationship with, they work with on a regular basis. Make sure it's somebody that they're comfortable with, because if they're just taking your piece of paper from the internet, it's probably not in your best interest.
I agree.
All right, so we love you guys. So if you need anything, RachelRuffing.com, RachelRuffing.com with Mainframe Realty right here in Orlando.
Thank you, Ted.
And you know how to reach me, Ted Bogert. You see me all the time. So let me know if I can help you. Let Rachel know if you can help you. But work with somebody that you trust and you know has your best interest at heart. Then you'll have no heart aches or heart breaks at the end of your transaction. So we love you guys. Mortgage Minute. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.